Hi, my name is Nate Jones, and I'm the Freedom of Information Act Coordinator at the National Security Archive. And I'm also a historian and researcher and FOIA follower for history of the Cold War. And today I'm happy to introduce the first of a three-part series of it's going to be the largest online collection anywhere about the 1983 war scare. That kind of reached its culmination with the NATO nuclear release exercise Able Archer 83 in November of 1983. And personally, this is a really fun set of documents to post because these are the reason that I got interested in FOIA. I still remember almost a decade ago in college reading John Lewis Gaddis's book where he wrote that Able Archer 83 was probably the second closest the world has come to nuclear war since the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is debatable, but it's still certainly an interesting Cold War mystery. And it piqued my interest, and I started researching and read the secondhand accounts and the memoirs, but the documents were missing. So I started to go to the archives and presidential libraries, and I still remember I almost got a little bit laughed out, and they said, "Oh, those are classified, you'll never get them." But that just made me try harder and learn that there was indeed a mechanism to get this stuff called the Freedom of Information Act, and started filing requests and got a lot of no's and a few yeses. I still remember ripping open the package of Air Force documents talking about it. So I was hooked, and I wanted to learn to file better FOIA requests and better FOIA appeals, so I came to the National Security Archive where the experts are. I learned a bunch. Started as an intern, and they couldn't get rid of me yet. I think this posting of documents is especially important because some critics have said that the whole study of the war scare is an echo chamber of inadequate research and circle reference dependency. And today we're putting some documents in that echo chamber. So we'll have a lot more primary sources for historians to debate with, analyze, and use. Today the posting is framed around a question that President Reagan asked his Soviet advisor. We have the index card he read with so he didn't forget the question. And the question was, do you think the Soviets are huffing and puffing, or are they really scared of a first strike from the West, a first nuclear strike? And I think the answer we came to reading everything was both. We have published for the first time the minutes of Andropov warning a Reagan envoy that of 4 times of the danger of nuclear war through miscalculation. But we also have him telling his Politburo cronies that to use all methods, including propaganda and including ginning up a war scare possibly. And then we also can trace these discussions through the Reagan administration with interviews now of former officials that are now published for the first time saying both sides of the story and talking about thinking the Soviets were using the fear of war for political gain, and also talking about putting themselves in the Soviets' shoes. And finally, we have a great document from the now closed KGB archives talking about that because of this fear, ramping up and beginning Operation Rion, the largest peacetime intelligence operation ever to detect, in theory, a preemptive Western strike on the Soviet Union. So that kind of sets up the stage for our next 2 war scare postings, and interesting stuff, even if it is a little scary. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you come back and check out our next 2 postings of documents.